Test the 15. You check the sound okay?
The one that causes all that exists to exist. The one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits.
Okay, 1, 2.
Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other
Check
chronic
1 2 1 2.
like gout and
You hear it?
arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
1, 2.
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you
She got
need.
back.
Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. Place an order, or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for listening.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/termination2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jahi, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Omari, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of the Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth with the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America.
Peace.
Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name April 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Quasad Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Peace, peace. I am Minister Taharka J. Shakur, and I am our announcer for today. We will be having a lecture from our co-founder today. And as you may have known, November is the month of Toma. But we will be getting lectures from every minister. They can hear me now? Okay. We will be getting a lecture, a very powerful message that comes from our minister, our co-founder, called The Wrongs We Have Learned to Live With. So may everyone stand to their feet as we welcome our co-founder, the speaker for today, Minister Omari Jahi Aton. Original salute. Original salute. What powers?
All right, all right. How's everybody doing today? Beautiful, beautiful. As Christian brothers and sisters say, it's the day that the Lord has made. And we be glad and rejoice in it. In the name of the eternal spirit, the one that thank you. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existing, is he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and is he who has made time the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton. He's known among the Hebrews as Ansaf, Yahweh, and Elohim. He's known among the Christians as Lord God and Jehovah, and among the Muslim and the Islamic world as Allah, the one God. He's known among the Rastafarians as Rastafari. He's known among the Yoruba tribe as Oledumare and Oshu and other Orisha names, and I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Creator. And it's to that entity whom we give reverence and to whom we submit. I boldly proclaim that we are the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, and that we are the lost 13th tribe born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the planet Earth flow through our veins. I greet you, my brothers and my sisters, in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which are Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. It's always a privilege to stand before you guys, and for all of our brothers and sisters in Facebook land and on YouTube, welcome to the Toma Nation. We're here located at 616 East on 71st Street in Chicago, Illinois. We're here every Sunday from 12:30 to 2 p.m. So if you want to come in and catch this live, because we do a little Q&A afterwards, you ain't gonna get this on Facebook or YouTube. So if you had some questions based on what you heard today and you want to get some clarity or whatever, probably best to be here. So again, my name is Minister Omari Jahi Aton. I'm the co-founder of this great movement called the Temple of Mercy Association, aka the Tona Nation, along with our founder, Brother Minister Rahim Kased Aton, and our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. The lecture of my title, the title of my lecture, flip that around. The title of my lecture today is The Wrong We've Learned to Live With. And today we're going to go behind the curtain of deception. It's a lot of deception going on this planet, and we've learned to live with it. We've accepted it. It's a lot of things that is just, it's just not right. And we know it ain't right. But we've learned to just accept it and go on ahead and how they say, don't make no waves, just go with the flow and all of that. We're going to make some waves today because we're going to bust some stuff out. We're going to expose some things. You don't hear from me that much. I don't get up on the podium. I'm normally behind the scenes. We got Sister Ebony filling in for me in the audio visual department. Y'all give it up for Sister Ebony. She filling in. She called me Tech Tyrone. I don't know what that means, but I got the tech part, and I guess put it together. I guess I got it. But yeah, you don't hear from me that much. As the co-founder, I really don't feel a need to come up here and say much because the founder got it covered. What do I need to say? And it's very important, to understand that, and hopefully a lot of people out there in Facebook and on YouTube will understand that when you have a partnership, it's almost just like even a married couple. Maybe married people might get something out of this, what I'm about to say. Can you imagine two people on a road trip? You've all been on road trips before, right? Get in the car, hit the road, right? How many drivers you got? One? Oh, that's them driver's ed cars. Driver ed car got that other wheel over there, so the instructor can say, "Oh no, you ain't kidding me today." Door brakes, right? Everything. But in regular American-made cars, there's only one wheel, and you can only have one driver. So that means if it's two of you all in the car, somebody gonna have to drive, and somebody gonna have to be the what? Passenger, right? When you're going out of town, a lot of time the passenger usually takes on the job of navigator. Looking at the map or checking out the GPS or whatever, saying, "Hey, I stopped coming up," right? So when you have two people, like a mother and a father, parents or whatever, raising a child, they raise that child together. But just like here in Toma, usually where the problem comes in is if the parents have not accepted the role that they're going to play in the relationship. I want y'all to hear me today. See, when God flicked the light switch on the Temple of Mercy Association, me and the minister had to have a conversation. And that conversation was around, are you going to be my buddy? Because we was friends before Temple, because we was musicians, Are you going to be my buddy? or are you going to be my minister? And that's the decision that I had to make as the co-founder. Because see, if you got somebody driving the car and then you don't like how they driving, you're going too slow or you're going too fast, you can say, hey, you need to pull over. Let me drive, right? But if the driver, and we've already agreed that you're going to drive and I'm going to navigate, then we begin to start creating problems in the relationship. If you don't like how I'm driving, that's an indication that you need to get on another car or get your own car. And you can drive how you want to. And then you'll experience what the driver experienced when you get a passenger. Because somebody ain't gonna like how you make turns. Somebody ain't gonna like how you brake. See, it's always something that people ain't gonna like about how you, as the leader, or you as the director, or you as the driver, somebody, there's always gonna be somebody ain't gonna like something. You didn't put your turn signal on. Well, nobody was behind me. We're on an open road, nobody's here. I think you need to let me drive. See, this happens in organizations, this happens in relationships because people do not accept their role. I accept my role, co-founder, not founder. Now, does that mean I don't have any power, any authority in the organization? No. If I have a problem, me and the ministers sit down and we have a discussion, like grown men, and we come to a solution to the problem. Now, in organizations, let me just give you an example. President of the United States, vice president, right? Vice president got juice. Vice president ain't got no juice more juice than the president. So what if the vice president all of a sudden decide they want to be president? Can they just haul off and start bad mouthing the president and think ain't nothing gonna happen? It's called treason, isn't it? In this hellish country, in this devilish country, even that's treason. But for us, we backbite, we stab each other, we kick each other when we're down, we do everything we can because we want that position that person got. I can do it better than you. You know, Elijah Muhammad, I ain't even got into my lecture yet. I don't know where this is coming from. Wow. Elijah Muhammad, people said that because he only had what, an 8th grade education? Third grade education. That he was illiterate, kind of, he couldn't talk right and this, that, and another. But the man was brilliant with a 3rd grade education because God was behind him. Now, how many people missed out on Elijah because they had a problem with how he talked? How many people missed out on the wisdom of Elijah Muhammad because they didn't like the fact that he talked slow? He chose his words carefully. He's not an educated man. He shouldn't be the head of the Nation of Islam. But the FOI grabbed that brother and took them out in the back. That's how it used to be handled back in the day. You say something about the leader, I don't care who you is. You get handled. Today, it's a Facebook post. We need to talk about it. Maybe we need to have a meeting. Let me get to my lecture. Today, brothers and sisters, I want to expose some things, and I think I know why God started it out like that, because I think we all need to understand that when you select somebody to lead, and that's what you do when you join another person's organization, you're selecting them to lead you. You know, just like uh, uh, um, when you go to take a karate class, you do a little research, or pick a doctor. You do a little research and say, pretty good doctor. I want you to be my doctor. And then after doing all that, you go in and be like, you say, you want me to exercise? Where you get your doctor degree at? My grandmama never exercised. My grandfather's grandfather, we never exercised, and they lived to be 102. Why should I listen to you? But you picked this person. You selected them to be your doctor. You see what I'm saying? And then we tear them down. And then we wonder why we are the way we are in our lives. See, when you select a spiritual leader, teacher, and guide, you don't have the right. I don't have the right to determine whether what they are leading and guiding and directing us in, whether it's right or not. Now, I have an opinion. I really want y'all to listen to me. I have an opinion. But there was a story here in the Holy Quran. And in the temple, we read both the Bible and the Holy Quran. And that's a story that we're going to tell on another day. And there's a reason for it, a scriptural reason why we read both books. But in the Holy Quran, there's a story about a man that it's Melchizedek, but it's Moses who was questioning him. He was questioning Melchizedek about every move he made. You see what I'm saying? But yet still, he himself, Moses, said, "Can I follow you? Please," begged him. "Please let me follow you. I want to study under you." And then every move you make, why'd you do that? Are you trying to harm? Because they were in a boat on the lake and he put a hole in the boat. And Moses like, "Are you trying to harm the occupants of the boat? You trying to kill us? What's going on? What you doing, man? You know what you're doing?" You see, this is the same mentality that we have. We have this same mentality. We want to question our leaders. And you know the thing that helped me to overcome this, I call it the Moses syndrome. Just since this story is dealing with Moses. The thing that helped me overcome that was that I don't know everything. See, when you think you know everything, when you begin to think that you ain't got to learn something else, you got it, I know it all, that's when you begin to catch the Moses syndrome. And you begin to question leadership instead of waiting to see what the end result of the leadership's guidance and direction. See, I made up in my mind. This is something that I made up in my mind a long time ago, because every leader ain't a good leader, and that's just a reality. But how do you know if a leader is a good leader? And this is not my lecture about leadership. Where's this coming from? I guess it's the wrong we learned to live with. Dogging out our leaders. How can we expect to know when we got a good leader when we question them at every turn? Y'all read in the Bible about how the children of Israel was with Moses? Moses, you brought us out here into the wilderness to die. We's hungry. Pray to God, and they sent manna down from heaven. That still wasn't good enough. You see, I figured this out. This is what I figured out. If a person is a good leader and they know what they're talking about, and it's a possibility that they know something I don't know, you know? And so my thing is this. Let's say I go to a doctor. You use the doctor as an example. And the doctor says, you got a bad lung condition. You need to take this, that, and another. You need to do 10 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups every morning. And drink a lot of water. At least drink 2 or 3 of these a day. And in a couple of weeks, your problem will go away. Now I turn around, I do 1 jumping jack, I do 1 sit-up, I drink 1 bottle of water, and I go back to the doctor and complain why my problem ain't went away. What if you did exactly what the doctor prescribed for you? And it didn't. Now you got ground to stand on, don't you? If you do what the doctor prescribes for you and it don't work, you have ground to stand. But until you do your part, you have no right to question leadership. I'm gonna say that again. And this is in anything, on your job, in your relationships. Because believe it or not, even in a relationship, somebody driving the car. I ain't talking about physically driving the car either now. I'm talking about somebody in charge. You know, there are some guys that let their wives handle all the finance, right? That ain't my thing, baby. You got it. Pay all the bills. I'm gonna bring my money. When I make my money, bring it home. You know, some guys are like, you a fool. Giving your woman all your money and let her issue you out some money every month. That's crazy, man. You work for that job, right? See, this the nigga that ain't got nobody. Ask somebody, y'all hear what I'm saying? It's me, man. He's one of them. Because he need company in his misery. And so he wants to advise you on how to keep a relationship or what's the best thing to do in a relationship. He wants to advise you and can't keep one himself. And we listen to these Negroes and niggerettes. I ain't want to leave sisters out. We listen to them as if they words are biblical. Same crap on Facebook. We read these posts and we act like it's CNN. We act like this is actual factual news. Do you know? If you look up at the sun too long, you'll get sterile. I'm just making something up, y'all. Somebody will put that crap out there, would you believe somebody gonna believe it and repost it? And then we wonder how lies get spread around. I still ain't gonna lie. I'm just start reading. I'm gonna just start reading so I can, because I don't. Let me look at my time. Oh, I got my watch. Okay. Oh, okay. I got about a little under an hour. This lecture If y'all got some questions about that little intro stuff, we just ask me at the end. I'll definitely tell y'all why. I know why God had me do all that. But this lecture series, because I know I'm not going to finish it today, it's directed to those, that consider themselves to be righteous children of God. I used to be, and I want y'all to question me if, I used to be pro-black. Now I'm pro-righteous. I used to be pro-black, but black ain't what it used to be. I'm gonna say that again. Black is not what it used to be. There are black people that act more white than white people. There are black people that act more Italian than Italians. There are black people that act more Jewish than Jewish people. So I can't go by black anymore. Because if I did that, I'd be a sucker. I'd be falling for every lie and deception that comes out of a black person's mouth that ain't got my best interest at heart. And that's what's been happening with us as a people. They say we naive. No, we're just a trusting people. We love the truth. And we hope that's what you're bringing us, the truth. But a lot of times, deception pays more than the truth. I got off my paper again. I have witnessed God's righteous children being manipulated and deceived into a way that is fair seeming, but it's not of God. What do I mean by that? It's fair seeming. It seems right if that brother drops his wallet out of his pocket while I'm walking behind him and I pick it up and there's $300 in there. I say, oh, God, thank you for this blessing. That seems right. That you want to deceive yourself. We call it deceptive intelligence. You want to deceive yourself into believing that God blessed you by stealing somebody else's money. I mean, it's just what it is. And we'd be really upset if somebody else did the same thing to you. You turn around and somebody picking up your wallet. You weren't going to give it to me, was you? Now you fighting. See, if we are doing things based on what we think and what we feel, and the law of God and the word of God has no place now in our decision making. When we make decisions based on what we're going to do, how we're going to act, what we're going to say, how we're going to think, all of that's just based on emotion now. It ain't got no law, no order to it. You know, I love law and order. I had to throw that in there. Had no law and order to it. You know, so look, Proverbs. Ebony gonna put this up on the screen for me. Proverbs 16:25. Now, Proverbs is my favorite book in the Bible. It's been my favorite book ever since I started reading the Bible. Y'all wanna know why? Because the wisest man ever to live wrote it. Why would I want to read anything else? Wisdom. King Solomon wrote Proverbs. Now look what it says here then. In Proverbs 16:25, it reads, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. It seems right to a man and a woman, because y'all know man, woman, man, same thing. It seems right. It says the end thereof are the ways of death, deterioration. You start to deteriorate little by little. You know, it's almost like you say tell a little white lie. You know, it's just a little white lie. You know, Mama, I didn't steal the cookies. You know, it's just a little lie, cookies. Then it's Mama, I didn't steal no money out your purse. Mama, I didn't steal your car. You see, it just balloons. Because once you start telling it and you get away with it, it makes the next one easier. God says, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Interpretation, stop lying. That's one of the main things I had to do. See, when I started my road to righteousness, I had to make a checklist. You know how usually they tell you to write a line down the middle of the page, put on the good stuff on the left side and the bad stuff on the right side, and we just jot down all that good stuff. You know, I'm good, I'm smart, I'm trustworthy, and this, that, and another. We put a couple of bad things. You know, I procrastinate, my feet stink. You know, we put a couple of things on the other side. I actually forgot. I didn't care about the good stuff. I actually made a checklist of all my bad, you know, lie, fornicator. I'm just gonna tell you all my little business. It's okay because it's in my past. So I can say what I was, you know, drug addict. You know, people look at me, what? You was on drugs? Heck yeah. It was rough too. I mean, for a long time. You know, I was the black sheep of the family, man, because of that. But I'm just thank God that my mother was able to see me come out of that on the other side before she passed. That she was able to see her son didn't get caught up in that, you know. But yeah, drugs. I made a checklist. What's another one? Procrastinator. You know, always making excuses why I can't do today. I mean, and put it off to tomorrow. You know, I'll just do it tomorrow. And you know, tomorrow never comes, right? You know, because when tomorrow comes, it's today. So when we put stuff on, I just want you all to know, when you put something off to tomorrow, what you're actually doing is, what you're saying is, I ain't never gonna do it. Because tomorrow never comes. And if it does, it's too soon. It's too soon. And you'll make another excuse for why you can't do it. So I made my checklist with all that stuff. And I started off with lying, stop lying. And that's when I learned another thing about myself, that there are polarities. You know, one end, you lie, you don't tell the whole truth, and on the other end, you tell everything. Too much truth. Do you like my hair? It looks like a mop sitting on your head. That's the truth. And so I had to find a happy medium. You know what I'm saying? Because I was pissing people off. People wanted to kill me because I was telling the truth. And I wanted to stand up. I'm like, I don't care. I'm telling the truth. And the minister said, that's a better way you could have said that. I don't care. But it took me almost a year to figure it out, you know. Brutal honesty, yes. And see, and sometimes we extremists, you know, we go to the extreme, you know. We discover that we've been lied to by the government. And they ain't gonna pay no justice. I'm just gonna do everything I can against the government. Whatever they say, I'm not gonna do. If they say stop at the stoplight, I'm going to. Because the government ain't no good. They lied to us. That's extreme, Negro. All you're gonna do is go to jail. And then be in jail, because jail is where God make you think, Jail in the hospital. You sitting in jail, maybe I went a little too far. You think? But that's why, again, we need leaders, teachers, guides. We need a guide, somebody to guide us through our life. That's what pastors, ministers, that's their job, not business. Let me say that again, because I don't know if y'all got me. That's their job, not their business. God ordained pastors, ministers to do exactly that. But when deception starts to sneak in, and I start preaching the gospel to benefit me, what's that brother name? Reverend Knight. Reverend Knight was that dude was something else. Leaves me my money. My money, not God's money. My money. And when he became successful behind that, Negroes started following suit. They might not have said, "Loose me my money," but they be like, "God gonna curse you if you don't tithe. God gonna do this to you if you don't support the church, the building fund, the ministers fund, the children's fund." And that's all that is for the pastor to have fun. I said I was gonna keep reading. Jesus. Matthew 25. Look at this, y'all. Matthew 24, verses 3 through 5. Matthew 24. Here we go. 3 through 5. And it reads, as he said, now this is talking about Jesus. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" Now, that's a very distinct question that the disciples were asking him. What shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Jesus answered, and his response was, "Take heed that no man deceive you." So that means that this deception that we're experiencing, because it's all over the place. Do you know it's deceptive to pad a bra? It's deceptive to put a sock in your pants. It's deceptive to wear wigs, false eyelashes. We're deceiving others. I remember there's a movie, "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," where this lady, she was foxy. Back in the day, that's what we call fine. And the guy took her home, and when they went in the bedroom, she took her butt off. She took her leg off. She took one of her breasts off. And her right. So brother wasn't getting what he thought he was gonna get. That's deceptive. But we're okay with that. That's the 25. That's the way of the world. That's how the world is. So why can't we accept? I'm gonna have to whisper this one because I don't want to let him. Why can't we accept that Satan is in charge?
They don't know.
If deception is the order of the day, you think God is deceptive? Nah. I can hear all, I can hear them all on Facebook. I hear them. God is in charge all the time. God is in charge. And you know what he decided? That he was going to give Satan rulership of the earth for a period of time. Does that mean God ain't in charge? No, because Satan couldn't be in charge unless God said he could be in charge. God give the devil rulership in the earth. Ooh, this is coming out, so I'm going off the paper again. Human beings are carbon-based beings, meaning that like charcoal, which is carbon, you know the stuff you put in your barbecue grill, that black stuff, that's carbon. Every human being on the planet is made up of carbon. I don't care if you're black, brown, white, red, whatever. Just like, and then you really understand now why white people bury their folks quick. Because when you die, you turn back, that carbon starts to take over and you start turning back. So they bury their folks before anybody can see Uncle George black. So if everything turns back to carbon, so that means there's a process that God, through nature, has exposed us to. That's the process of how a diamond is created. Now, a diamond is a prism, right? That reflects light. So, if under extreme pressure in the earth, carbon or over years turns from that black carbon-based element into a crystallized prism that reflects light, that directs light. Then, when human beings go through pressure, and when you go through things in your life, you know, we always talk about the ups and downs in life. I'd rather have it than the straight line. I'm sorry. Flat line is dead. So we want peaks and valleys. We want to go through ups and downs. So when you're going through these ups and downs in your life, and even as a race of people, I'm going to speak about black people right now. We're always talking about slavery. We're talking about what white folks did to us. And I'm saying all this because to answer the question, why would God do this? Why would he let the devil be in charge of the planet and put us through the hell that we've been through for all of these years? He's making a diamond. He's making a Christ crystallizer. The challenge is we don't pass down blessings. What I mean by that? If you was blessed to understand that eating meat is not good for you, and you allow your children to eat meat because that's what they want to do, then it might take 2 or 3 more generations to figure out what you figured out already. And so it might take 20, 30, 40, 50 years before somebody in your family or family history figures out that eating properly adds to my spirituality. When you could have for them 50 years earlier, giving them this gift of knowledge and information. But you can't make nobody do nothing. You can. Who say you can't? We do it all the time. You make your kids go to school. I don't know no children breaking their necks to go to school. Well, there's a few. I know there's a few. Exception to every rule. But most of us, we make our children do what we feel that's important for them to do. We don't think that eating right is important. We don't. Well, my grandmama, she ate chitlins, and I can't even say it right. She ate chitlins and pork chops and hog maws and from the rooter to the tooter, they ate everything, pig ears, all that crap. And she lived to be 105. See, we tell ourselves this mess in order to justify the fact that when God gives us information that's going to enhance our life, we toss it to the side. We toss it to the side and we don't pass the information down. Like, I believe in the words, raise up a child in the way that it should go, and when it's grown, we'll not depart from that way. When my son was young, I would not let him touch meat at all. Now, when he got 18, I let him go. Because his mama was pulling on him. You make that boy, that's your mess. See, that's your crap. Don't force that on him. But all his life, all the way up into 18, he never ate meat, no kind of meat, right? At some point, he's going back to it because God cannot be moved. God said, if you raise that child up in the way it should go, when it is grown, it won't depart. I believe it. See? Yeah. Is God a lie? And if he is, right? How you gonna know by not following what he said? Prove he's a lie. Do what he says do, and when it don't work, you get on your soapbox and you get to work. But if you just because I got a feeling, now you want to throw salt on God because you got a feeling that, well, what he said, that's kind of rough. I've been eating pork chops all my life. That's rough. Can't do that. Look, y'all, Jesus. I ain't even off the first page. Okay. In my 62 years experience, I have discovered that being right has become a point of view. Meaning that being right is determined by what you think. Oh, I think it's right to bust that nigga upside his head and take his money. He should, what the youth call it now? He was lacking. Did I say it right? Okay. Yeah, he was lacking. And so, because he was lacking, I got it right. To bust that nigga upside his head and take his wallet, take his watch, his chain, take everything he got. He says, but what is right and what is wrong has become an opinion that has been turned over to the discretion of every individual. Now, I got another slide coming up, y'all. There's an old saying by Carter G. Woodson, and I quote, when you can control an individual's thinking, you do not have to worry about the individual's actions. I'm gonna say that again. Now, Carter G. Woodson, old dude, way back in the day. What is Carter G. Woodson trying to tell us about your thoughts? When you can't control an individual's thinking, you do not have to worry about the individual's actions. He goes on to say, when you determine what an individual shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what the individual will do. If you make an individual feel he or she is inferior, you do not have to compel them to accept an inferior status because that individual will seek it themselves. Now that's real deep. You ain't nothing, you ain't never gonna be nothing. You just like your daddy. He ain't nothing, you ain't nothing either. You just like your mama. Y'all know the other words they use.
Yes.
You ain't nothing. Nobody wants you. Ain't nobody ever gonna want you. You ugly. When you can make a person believe that about themselves, you don't have to worry about it. That person creating an inferior environment for them. They'll seek the back seat. They'll seek the corner. They'll seek the back door. If you make any individual that he or she is justly labeled an outcast, you don't have to, you do not have to order that individual to the back door. He or she will go without being told. And if there is no back door, the individual's programmed nature will demand one. Now, Dr. King, he said this. I have a drink. No, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna be normal. He said, I have a dream that that my 4 children, little children, will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now, we've been dreaming that for 50 years, over 50 years. We've been having that same dream with Dr. King. You know, I'm beginning to call it a nightmare. Because whether we accept it or not, because, well, I'm gonna have to say it like this. Because the best example of good that we've been programmed to accept is white people. We've been programmed. Understand what I'm saying? The best things in life, the good stuff, it comes with white people. You know, the minister always saying the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice for some reason. It's the same ice, got it from the same place, but for some reason to you, I want his ice because his ice is going to be better than your ice. And this is the programming that we accepted. This is the programming that we have, that his ice is better than our ice. And because of that programming, we've been, well, I want to read the definition of programming. Ebony gonna put it up on the screen for y'all. Beautiful. See Ebony on it. Programming, it says, provide a computer or a machine with coded instructions for the automatic performance of a task. So, when you program something, when you program a human being, what you are doing is you are inserting coded instructions into their mind and into their heart. Because see, this is the hard drive for the human being. Here it is. This is where they got the computer from anyway. This thing right here. Coded instructions for, here's the other key word, automatic performance of a task. When your wife says, see, well, maybe I should say it like this. Women, boy, they got a double-edged sword in here called a tongue. And they will cut you too short. You be, not the rapper too short, but you be so short, you can sit on the curb and your legs will be swinging. That's how short a sister can cut you, boy, and bring you down. I mean, low, right? And the response, the coded instructions is put your fist in her mouth. Where did we get it from? That's how the white man did his woman. We didn't do our women like that because our women didn't have a reason to cut us too short like that. She got the reason because we started wanting to emulate this white man. Lifestyle of the rich and famous. Some of y'all don't remember that show back in the day where they were showing how the white people live. All these immaculate mansions and all of that. And we like, oh man, I want that. In order to get it, you have to be assimilated. Yeah, I said it. Like the Borg. For my Trekkies folks out there. Trekkies, yeah. I love Star Trek. And if you don't know nothing about the Borg, you better watch you some Star Trek. Borg assimilates all other living beings into itself. So, what do I mean? The Borg is well, I ain't even gonna go into it. Y'all just watch Star Trek. But we are being assimilated into the white man and the white woman's mindset, how they think, how they come to conclusions. What do they do based on this situation? What do they do based on that situation? You know, at the job, you got black folks selling out their own black people just so they can become supervisor. Or I call it supervisor. So I can be over these Negroes. Because they ain't gonna make you supervisor unless you can trick out on some folks. If you ain't got a problem snitching on your coworkers, you ain't got a problem, recommending, they'll make you a supervisor, which is, how did KRS One say? Overseer. Overseer, officer. You're the police now at work. I'm about to go somewhere, but let me get back to the paper. Coded messages. Is the slide still up? Okay. Coded messages have words or symbols with which represent other words, so that the message is secret unless you know the system behind the code. Words and symbols with double meaning. So when you get a coded message, like when somebody send you a text, if somebody gave you a text, and the only thing the text said was 911, everybody in here know what that means, right? Whoever sent you that is in trouble. It's an emergency. They need your help right away, right? That's a coded message. There are a lot of coded messages. A friend of mine, now I told you how extreme we are. When he discovered uh, how people, the powers that be have been doing us, white folks, I just say it. When he discovered that, he got in the elevator with a bunch of white people. He the only black person in there, right? And one white person looked over at the other white person and he said, "Man, do you see how do you say it? Do you see what the cat drug in?" Coded message, right? And he like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Now the elevator full of white people. Wasn't nobody talking to him, right? Who looks crazy? But only reason he looked crazy because he understood the code, right? He knew what they were saying. All of us knew what he was saying, right? Look at this nigga that just got drugged into the elevator was pure white people, and he snapped out. Went to jail that day. But my point is balance. You can't be all out here willy-nilly with the knowledge, mad, angry, operating off of emotion and impulse. You got to be strategic. What does it say? Be you got to be as wise as a serpent, but harmful. I mean, harmless or peaceful as it goes, like that. But it's saying be smart, but don't be aggressive. And if you find yourself being aggressive because you discovered something and you came to the temple and found out that the reason why when you go to jail, they take a picture of both sides of your face is because you look different on both sides. Because one side of you is good and the other side of you is bad as hell. And because we aren't taught this. See, this should be taught in grammar school about you, who you are, and the good and the bad. We just think whatever comes out is what it is. But sometimes we could be walking around imbalanced, out of control. I'm just bad for no reason, just bad. That's just who I am. I got, 18 minutes. Okay, look, I'm just keep reading. I always say that. All right, look, God has a coded system behind his words in his Bible. God sent teachers and guides into the world with the ability to interpret the coded symbols and words to his children. Now, what qualifies us as being children of God? I say this all the time. Anything that got a hole in its face can say anything out of it. You can say anything. I'm a righteous servant of God. I just said that. Does it make it true? Because I said it? I go to church every Sunday. I pay my tithes on a regular basis. So do the mafia. Does that make you good? Al Capone paid his tithes too. He's public enemy number one at some point. So there has to be some qualifications, something that you got to do in order to qualify you to be what is called or considered a child of God. Now, these are my qualifications, right? Who am I? I'm Minister Omari Jahi. I say don't mean nothing. It don't mean a thing. But if you're looking for truth and if you're looking for righteousness, I'm saying that as a minister, that's what I teach. So if you take what I say and you implement it and it works, God bless you. If you take what I say and you try to implement it, notice the word I use, try, which means you're not successful. And it don't work, that's on you. Don't try to make it seem like I lied to you and it didn't work. That's on you. One, if you want to be considered a child of God, you can't be caught up with religious game banging. You can't be saying you a Christian and I got a problem with them Muslims. I'm a Hebrew and I got a problem with them Muslims and them Jehovah Witnesses and I got a problem with them Seventh-day Adventists, because my God is the best God. You a game banger, a thug, a religious thug.
No.
Second one, two, must read and study the Bible and the Quran. Books. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I'm gonna say it real quick. I ain't gonna be able to break it down. Y'all gonna have to do your own research. And I want to show you how the devil has manipulated and deceived us for so many, centuries. I bet you don't know. Abraham. Was it Abraham? Yes. Abraham, the father of faith, a friend of God, right? That's what the Bible says, Abraham, the friend of God. Do you know that Abraham's first child, he didn't go to a black-owned restaurant, but his first his first child was by Sarah's handmaiden, who was an Egyptian named Hagar. Her son, they named him, notice I didn't say Isaac. I said this son's name was Ishmael, Abraham's first son. Guess who the founder of Islam is? Ishmael, Abraham's son. Now, let's go to Isaac, the other son, right? And we're going to talk about that another day because there's some hidden stuff in that too. But we just for today, Isaac, the patriarch for the Hebrew religion, which at some point turned Jew. I don't know when that happened, but there's some scholars out there that'll help y'all to know when the Jewish people stole the Hebrew religion. I'm just telling y'all how it is. There was no such thing as Jew. They were Hebrews. These gypsies came into Hebrews' country and stole their religion, killed them off, stole their religion, and called themselves Jews. I guess I'm anti-Semite now. I guess I'm an anti-Semite, right? But do you know that Semite is black? Semite means black. Which one of them pale-faced Jews can call themselves black. Come on now. I want all you pop-up attorneys to stand up now and tell me how a pale-faced Jew can be Semitic and they ain't black. Because anti-Semitic means anti-black. So when they say Kanye is an anti-Semite, they saying he's anti-black. He didn't say nothing against black people. He said something about their pasty-faced self. As the Native Americans say, pale face. So I can't be anti-Semitic. Kanye can't be anti-Semitic. So what's the deception in using that statement against somebody that says something about Jews? What do the Jews know that you don't know? They know that the original people of God is black. And they call themselves the original people of God because they stole it. Exactly. And after stealing it, they stole that, what is it called? Heritage. And so when you say something against them, they want to call you an anti-Semite, which is really saying that you're going against the original people, which they are not. And the scripture, minister read the scripture last week. There are those who say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Do I hate Jews? No, I could care less about Jews. I don't even think about them. They are, what's the word I want to use? Irrelevant in my life. I guess I'm gonna lose my job now. I'm gonna go to work and find out it was a Jew that's paying my check. Hey, I can speak the truth. I could care less about all that. God got my back. But look, I knew I wasn't gonna get, I'm only on page 2, y'all. I got about 7 more pages to go. I'm on number 3. I'm sorry, I didn't finish. Okay. So first qualifications, right. You can't get caught up in religious game banging. Second one, you must read the Bible and the Quran, because if you want to be like Abraham, a friend of God, his children, brothers of 2 religions, they are brothers. When you read one, you're only getting half the information or knowledge of God. When you read the other, you're getting half. When you put them together, you have God's word. Both of them. This is why we read both of them in the temple. And there's nothing, when you read, I mean, come on now. You've read books written by Jews, right? When you read the book, did that make you a Jew? So why when I read the Quran, you got to make me a Muslim? I'm not a Muslim no more than I am a Jew when I read one of their books. Or a German if I read a book written by a German. So let's get off of that. Third one, must seek a master / teacher to be taught. So you can't consider yourself a child of God and you out here willy-nilly it on your own. I'm my own teacher. I'm my own leader. I'm my own this. You your own fool. I know y'all don't like me, but that's okay. We've been, y'all thought I'm gonna say hoodwinked. Nope. We've been programmed. They have inserted coded information into us, and we've allowed it to be downloaded into our brains and into our hearts. to the point now that Proverbs 23:7 comes into play when it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. To fully understand what the writer of Proverbs meant, which was King Solomon, we must look at the surrounding verses for context. All right, here we are, Proverbs 23. Let me see. Oh, I don't have to, I got it right here. As a man thinketh in his hearts. That's deep too. I ain't gonna go there because it'll take me somewhere else. Because there's a connection between your mind and your heart. I didn't say your brain. I'm very specific. There's a distinct connection between your mind, M-I-N-D, and your heart, and how they work together. So, as a chapter, this chapter focuses on giving life advice. This is King Solomon, and the book he wrote was a book that was about giving life advice for how to handle oneself in various life situations. Now, some of you may not know that about Proverbs. You know, I hear people saying, well, there was no book written on motherhood. There's no book written on parenthood. Proverbs will teach you about everything in your life. Look at what this Proverbs 23:7. We're going to start at the first verse, though. It says, when thou sittest and eatest with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. He's talking about sitting down with a ruler. Now, what is a ruler? A person exercising government or dominion. So it could be anybody that has, in your thinking, in your mind, some kind of dominion over you. He's a billionaire, so he's over me. What makes him over you? Your thoughts. His billions ain't definitely over you. They're in his bank. It's your thoughts about his money, and that his money makes him over you. And he could be a straight up idiot with a bunch of money. So we got to rethink that. But verse 2, it says, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. So it's talking about if you're sitting down with a ruler, consider diligently what it says, if you sit it to eat with a ruler. Consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to your throat if you be a man given to appetite. That means if you eat a lot. I got 2 minutes. Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm gonna try to rush through this and then I'm gonna close out because I already knew I wasn't gonna get through this. He said, put a knife to your throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Will thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle towards heaven. The more you run after it and you get it, it fly away. Eat thou not the bread of him that has an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. So that's saying, you know, when you put somebody on a pedestal, for whatever reason, if you find yourself invited to one of their parties or invited to some banquet or a dinner that they are sponsoring, saying be careful about what you are consuming. And we ain't talking about food now. Because information is food. When they tell you, see, we seem to believe rich people. We believe politicians. We believe government officials. We believe them because they make a lot of money and they supposed to be better than us because they politicians. For some reason, I don't know where that came from, but we seem to believe that when they say something, that it's 100% true and accurate. I'm going to lower taxes. Everybody say I'm going to lower taxes. Taxes ain't lowered yet. And we still voting on them. Well, beloved, that's my time. But I thank you for listening. And I'm going to leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but yet holy words of peace. Okay. In the Arabic language of hope, well, not in the Arabic language. I'm all off. I'm gonna leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but yet holy words of peace. With y'all. Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habargani, Alafia, and Ashe. Peace. Man, I ain't even drink no water.
We do that after I gotta close first. Can I close at some point? Wow, what a powerful lecture that we was just delivered from our minister, Omari, our co-founder of this powerful movement. Let's just give him a hand. And to all of those who have watched us on Facebook Land, we ask that you join us here in person at 616 East on 71st Street. And if you want to support this grassroots movement, you can always donate to us. I always say the Cash App wrong when I'm up here at the Toma Nation, right on Cash App, or go on Giblify and find us at the Toma Nation as well on Giblify. And we hope to see you. And if you like this, please share, comment, and support the Toma Nation. Peace and blessings.
In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!